So my Ironman 70.3 is about 2 weeks out, and I thought it would be a good idea just to run through the nutrition for endurance events. Welcome back to Tush Trains, and in today's episode I'm going to be talking about what to eat for endurance events. So without further ado, let's get straight in. So number one, why nutrition matters for endurance athletes. So let's jump into the energy system. There is glycogen and there is the fat metabolism. So glycogen is basically limited, meaning that fueling is key. Poor fueling equals to things like fatigue, slow recovery, and risk of injury. So in terms of the daily nutrition you need to think about during training, you need to think about carbohydrates as a foundation. So carbohydrates, a lot of people get this mixed up and they go for refined carbs. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about whole grains, fruits, potatoes and rice. All of these things basically refill your glycogen, and what you want to aim for is about 5 to 8 grams of carbs per kg of body weight. And this basically depends on the training load that you're doing. So if you have a triple session, you would probably want to increase that a bit. Protein, I'm sure you all know about protein. It's for muscle repair, and you want to get 1.6 to 2 grams of protein per kg of body weight per day. And ideally you want to spread this across meals because you can only absorb so much protein at once. So fats, do not cut them out. There are good fats such as polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats. Healthy fats support hormones and your long-term energy. I want you to think like avocados, nuts, olive oil and fatty fishes. There are some micronutrients that you do need to have, and these are especially important for endurance athletes. So this would be iron, magnesium, sodium and potassium. It's best to get these all from food. Hydration is obviously one of those that are very key, and you need a daily electrolyte balance, not just water, because you do need to have electrolytes in your system. Now I'm going to go over what it would be like fueling for long sessions. So in regard to fueling while training on long sessions, don't wait until you're tired, fuel way before that. Whilst you're training on these long sessions, you want to aim for about 30 to 60 grams of carb per hour. And if your gut is used to it, you can go a bit beyond and go for 90 grams. There are some mixed sources that you could use, such as glucose and fructose blends. So I have this High Five mix downstairs, which is basically a carb mix. You put 2 scoops of the powder in and that will give you your carbs. The 3 ones that I'll think about the most would be bananas, gels and sports drinks. Electrolytes. So you need electrolytes to actually replace your sodium during long and hot sessions where you sweat a lot. Now for your nutrition leading up to the event, you would want to start a carb loading phase. So 2 to 3 days before the event, you'll need to increase your carbs from 7 to 13 grams per kg of body weight that you have. Keep your meals very simple, very easy, and keep them low in fiber and fat to reduce gastrointestinal issues. You need to get into practice of mixing hydration and electrolytes during training, but don't have them excessively because it can cause problems, and avoid trying new foods out before the actual event. So the race day strategy, what should you have on the race day? So the pre-race meal, 3 to 4 hours before the race, you would want to have carbs, a bit of protein, low fat and low fiber meals. And this will be comprised of oatmeal with banana, rice and eggs. These are all really good sources of carbs and protein, and these are just normal breakfast meals. The snack, this is going to happen about half an hour to an hour before the event. So quick carbs if needed, such as banana, toast with honey or gel. I'm most likely going to go for the gel because I cannot be asked thinking about too many things and cooking up something just before the event. During the event, you need to stick to the plan. Don't deviate from the plan, because if you start to deviate and try something new and you have some issues or some gut issues, then it will just end up horrifically. So don't do that. Recovery nutrition post-race and post-training. There is something called the golden window. This is basically half an hour to an hour where the golden window opens up, and you need to have carbs and protein within that hour to replenish your glycogen stores. And the protein would help with the broken down muscle fibers. There's a ratio that you need to think about. So in terms of carbs to protein, there would be 3 parts carbs and 1 part protein. This is basically for glycogen and muscle repair, like I said earlier. Some examples of these meals to have after this training would be a smoothie with banana, oats, protein, rice with salmon, yogurt with fruit and granola. My personal favorite for a dessert would be the yogurt with fruit and granola. Best thing would be to rehydrate with electrolytes to replace the sodium and the fluids lost. And also think about prioritizing antioxidants and anti-inflammatory foods. These anti-inflammatory foods can be berries, greens, turmeric, and omega-3 fish. So in regards to the holistic angle of the long-term health and balance, I would say your diet isn't just fuel. It supports gut health, mental clarity, and stress resilience. You need to think in your training whole, nutrient-dense foods as your base that are non-processed, and then sports products only when it's necessary to do so, such as the actual event or when you're just trying them out. And the number one, which is the most important, is you need to balance this discipline with enjoyment. And my enjoyment comes in the form of ice cream. So I would like to have an ice cream occasionally. Anyway, thank you for coming to my talk, and I'll see you on the next one.